Hello everybody, what is happening? Welcome back to AGB Cars. We are back. We are back on AGB Cars for another video. Hopefully we'll be here many more times. So I decided today that we're going to come back and make another video on the channel about F1. So luckily for you, we are back. Hopefully it will be for permanent. I really hope to get more constant videos out on this channel, and I apologise for the lack of them in recent times. So this video is still on the 2015 F1 season, and what we're going to talk about today is what I think have been the top 5 drivers of the year. This is in no way official, it is in no way professional. It is really just my humble opinion, and you may not agree with them. You may think that they are completely wrong, but I don't really care because they're my top 5 from the year. So in 5th place, we're going to start off with Daniel Kvyat from Red Bull Racing Renault. Now, personally, I'm not really high on Kvyat. But I feel that this year you have to give him the credit that he deserves, because he did outscore teammate Ricciardo in the same car. It was very close, only 3 points in it at the end. Ricciardo, you could argue, has been more consistent really. But Kvyat, I mean, the points don't lie at the end of the day, and he did get there on merit really. A few small mistakes from him during the year, and one of the reasons I really can't warm to him, I suppose, is that he still seems to be making these really small stupid mistakes that really cost him. Remember, Austin just springs to mind. He just went too wide on the wet curb and lost it and ended the race. And I mean, it is only his second year in F1 and only his first year in a front-running team, if you can call Red Bull front-running. But, like, Kvyat, I really hope he does improve, and I see a lot of potential in him for the future. And the reason I put him in the top 5 is that he did outscore teammate Ricciardo, which is very impressive, obviously. And he has shown signs of improvement over 2014, so I hope he does improve even more, but he has made it into my top 5. In place number 4, I announce Max Verstappen to be the 4th best driver this year, in my opinion. Remember, Max Verstappen, I feel he has made it into number 4. I believe he is the 4th. He has impressed me 4th most this year, if that makes any sense. But I believe he is the most overhyped F1 driver that has ever lived, maybe. I mean, Sky Sports, and I know Sky Sports cannot be trusted in any way, shape or form, but Sky Sports F1 have just made Verstappen look like God this year. Everyone is just crawling all over him, saying he's the next Ayrton Senna, saying that he's just unbeatable, that he's going to be the best, that he's going to be the next Schumacher, the next Vettel. And can I see that? Maybe, yes, he does have potential. He's only very young, he's supremely talented, but he just is really overplayed in the media, and I don't like that, and I think it almost takes away from him a little bit, because people say, oh, he's always talked about, but he is in fact really good, and overtakes this year have been flawless. One mistake in Monaco, of course, that we all remember, but he's a rookie. His first year in Formula 1, I think he has shown excellent potential, outscoring his teammate massively. Now, I know Carlos Sainz has loads of technical difficulties that Carlos Sainz has beaten him in qualifying more than often, and some argue he should have been up there right with Verstappen, which I agree with, but I think Verstappen has rightfully earned his place as number 4. Now, in third place, I have someone that may surprise you, but I really feel he has really earned his place in this list, and that is Sergio Perez. In the second half of the 2015 season, Sergio Perez really came to life. He he really showed he was comfortable with the B-spec car that Force India brought in the second half of the 2015 season. I believe in the second half of the season that he was the 4th highest point scorer out of everyone, behind the 2 Mercedes and Sebastian Vettel, and that is amazing. In the end, he ended up 9th in the World Championship, but he did outscore his teammate Nico Hülkenberg by 20 points. And I feel that we know Perez from Sauber was really good raw talent, but he was kind of thrown into McLaren at the deep end a bit too young. He's really started to mature now, and he was really flawless in the second half of the season, and I also think one of the reasons for that was that when Nico Hülkenberg won Le Mans earlier in the year, everyone was on Hülkenberg, and the spotlight had moved to Hülkenberg, and Perez kind of wanted to say, well, I'm here as well, and he really showed that, because the driving he did in the second half of the season was really astonishing with the car he had. So he certainly makes it onto my list and is in the top 3. So now we're going to move on to number 2. So you probably know that there's 2 people who are going to be in the top 2 slots, but you're just wondering in which order they will appear. And I can say that in second place we have the world champion, Lewis Hamilton. Were you expecting that? I don't know. So, I think Hamilton, well, I mean, come on, he has to be up there. He's world champion, yes, in the Mercedes, but, I mean, you can't say he did anything wrong, really. I know a lot of people hate him now. I might raise my hand in that group as well, but in terms of his lifestyle and his clothes and his everything like that. But I mean, you can't say that he's not an excellent racing driver. Probably one of his, if not the best out there. And I mean, he just has to be here, doesn't he? He's world champion for the 3rd time, for the 2nd time in a row, beating Nico Rosberg. You could say Rosberg was his only opponent, and Rosberg only showed up for the last 8 races. But I mean, come on, Lewis Hamilton, he just has to be there, doesn't he? It was his year again. So, then, we all know then, don't we, who's going to be in number 1? It is Sebastian Vettel, of course. First year with Ferrari, 3rd place in the Constructors' Championship, not far off Rosberg. He did keep him honest in the last part of the year, for the last few races. I mean, Vettel, I put Vettel ahead of Hamilton really for the fact that for what he's had to work through, for how he's raised the team, what he's done behind the scenes as well as what he's done on the track. I mean, Ferrari would not be where they are today if Alonso had stayed and if Vettel hadn't ever shown up. Vettel is why Ferrari are 2nd in the Constructors rather than 4th behind Williams and Red Bull. He has been just astonishing this year, maybe his best year ever. No one was ever going to beat the Mercedes, and he was the next best. Really showed fantastic racing. He won 3 races, the only non-Mercedes race winner. He got the pole in Singapore, and I mean, I really feel that Vettel is what has brought Ferrari along. I know he's trying to emulate what Schumacher did in the late 1990s, and I mean, honestly, Ferrari, if it keeps going the way it is, next year they will be even closer to Mercedes. In 2017, if there's a big rule change, they'll be right there. And like Vettel is so hungry to win a world championship there at the Italian outfit. I can really see that happening. Maybe not next year, maybe not the year after, but definitely in the near future. So that is why I'm putting Vettel as my number one driver. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, so please comment away and say what you think. Say if you disagree with any of mine. Um, Worth mentioning as well, there's two drivers that I was really close to putting on this list, but I decided that the others were a better fit. Um, Grosjean is one of them. Grosjean did have a fantastic season at Lotus. With the car he had, I mean, the Lotus was nowhere near any of the other cars. That is in the higher up in the points tables, but Grosjean was very good on numerous occasions this year, and also Carlos Sainz. I was going to put him in fifth behind Verstappen, equal to Verstappen, but I mean, I just kind of had to edge him out for the top five, but really, really, really close to being up there. So those two are also very, very close. Love to hear your thoughts. Put them in the description. AGBCars is back for the moment. We're going to see how this goes. So yeah, I hope to see you in the next video, which hopefully won't be in another 6 months. Thank you very much for listening, and goodbye.